Hello, and welcome to today's devotion. I'm here on the island of Rhodes, or some people say Rhodes, and it's in one of the islands in Greece. What's significant about this island was the Knights of St. John. This is a fort that they built behind me. It's where the Crusaders spent a lot of time, and there's a lot of Christian monuments and the Catholic monuments throughout the city, and it has quite the rich history. And I was able to go to some museums and learn all about it. And so each day that I'm here, I'm doing a little devotion on those who walk with God, as I'm walking the very ancient places that the women and men of God walked. We're talking about our walk with God. And this series is called God at Work. And today I'm going to talk about Enoch. Now Enoch is very interesting because there's only 2 verses in the Old Testament about his life. But these 2 verses are so significant regarding understanding our walk with God. Now, interesting that this series is called God at Work. And here we don't see much work that Enoch did. It does not describe any great feats, any miracles or memorial activities that he did, except for this. And this is the most important pursuit of our life. This is the reason we exist. This is what God desires more than anything from us. It says that Enoch walked in continual fellowship or habitation, as the Amplified describes, with God, and he was taken up. That's about it. We learned that Enoch was the grandfather of Noah. He was the father of Methuselah, the oldest person who ever lived, 965 years, I believe. But it says that Enoch, after giving birth, he, for 300 years, walked in continual, habitual fellowship with God and was taken up. So really it means he lived on this earth for 365 days. I mean, years. But what that's significant about is there's 365 days in a year. And I believe Enoch is our example of God's desire for us to walk in fellowship with him every day, all the time, 24/7. That's what God desires. That's why he created us, for fellowship. That's what was happening in the garden. And that's what he desires with us. Fellowship. Continual. Non-stop. Not just in a church building. All the place. Every place. All the time. Everywhere. That's God's desire. Now in the New Testament, we learn a little bit more about Enoch. We learn that he prophesied. In Jude, it says that he prophesied about judgment. See, Enoch walked so close to God that God revealed his heart. Now, it wasn't long after Enoch that we saw judgment fall upon man. So Enoch was used as a prophet to warn mankind, to keep mankind from having to experience judgment. But they did not listen. But God always gives warning. And Enoch was a prophet that warned those who were going to experience judgment. They were all about pleasing themselves. All about themselves. That's the opposite. You cannot walk with God and only care about yourself. Walking with God means caring about others. Being considerate about others. You love God, you love others. And so what keeps us from God is when we're all about ourselves. And that's what happened to mankind. They were all about themselves. Just their own gain, their own pleasure, and not about other people. Good to see all of you tuning in. Suzanne and Diane, Terry, Anelia, great for you watching here in Greece. And we also learn about Enoch. He was included in Hebrews chapter 11, the Hall of Faith. He was one of the great men of faith, men and women of faith. What made faith? It describes it in the Amplified there. How did Enoch have such an intimate relationship with God that he was taken up? That he got so close to God that he couldn't remain here on earth, that he was just brought right up to heaven, defying natural law, not experiencing death, and going right to glory. What was it? Well, it said it was his reverent fear of the Lord and his obedience. Those are the two ingredients to walking in habitual fellowship with God. Is that exactly reverent fear of the Lord? I don't want to do anything apart from you, God. I need you every moment of every day. That's reverent fear. It's not about fear of God striking us dead. It's about, God, I realize that apart from you, nothing good can come forth out of my life. I need you. And then secondly, it's obedience. We acknowledge God, he leads us, and we follow. That is what it's all about. We also learn a bit about Enoch in the book of Enoch. Now, it's not included in the Bible, but it was quoted in the Bible. And in that book of Enoch, you learn about the watchers. These were the angels who liked what they saw in women and had a relationship with women, and therefore came forth the giants and all the judgment that followed because of fallen angels and watchers. The thing what we learn is about Enoch is he was so close to God. God reveals hidden mysteries to his friends. And Enoch knew what was going on in our world, knew what was coming, because he knew God. And God wants us to know him like that. What we can learn about the life of Enoch, it didn't describe much about his works, but the most important work was his relationship with God. It was an habitual fellowship. So if we really want to see God at work in our lives, in our work, in our jobs, it all will depend upon how close we are to him. That's what brings him most honor. It says he pleased God. What pleases God is faith. Faith is what draws God to us. When we have faith in God, we stay near to him, and he just goes to work through our lives. But the greatest testimony that we have is our relationship with God. Our relationship with God should be seen in all that we do, all the time, at work, everywhere. That is the testimony that the world needs to see. Not so much the labor of our hands, that's all part of it. But more than anything is our intimacy with God. It's our relationship. So I hope this vlog has blessed you today. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to share a little bit about Noah. I will be traveling to Ephesus and the following day Philippi. And so hope to continue to be able to live stream if all works as planned. I'm not having the best internet connection, but I was able to get on today, and glad you guys joined me. God bless you and have a wonderful day, and see you next time. Bye-bye.